Hello. Alright. Hello everyone. It is me, Tapu Wario, your coach of the PULSE Diancies, and this is week 7 of the PLBA. Season 4. Last time, we lost. Unfortunately. So, we gotta win this one, just come back from it, and continue being the best. My opponent was the person that actually let me actually rewind. So in the draft when we were drafting everything, I got Megalopony sniped from me by my opponent, and we agreed that to trade. I would draft Mega Gyarados, and then before week 1, in the little time after that, we would trade Megalopony for Mega Gyarados, and so I would end up with Megalopony, and my opponent would end up with the Mega Gyarados. I would end up with the Mega Gyarados, I would end up with Megalopony, and everyone was happy. And that's the way it worked. And so, hopefully, you can pay them back by absolutely destroying them with Megalopony. But I will get to this set later. So, first, let's run down my opponent's team. So, as I mentioned, they have Mega Gyarados. Very scary. Gets Power Whip now because Gen 8 GMs are dumb. And it also gets like Dragon Dance, Substitute, could run Waterfall, Crunch, Earthquake, Fang moves, just a couple different stuff. None of it is good, and I don't like any of it. So we have to not lose to the Mega Gyarados. Just don't get swept by Dragon Dance, please. Next is Mew, which does absolutely, literally everything. So I can't really describe what it does, because it can be offensive, it can be defensive, it can be support, it can be absolutely everything, because it learns every single TM. And it also gets imprisoned and transform if, you want to do that. But that's kind of bad, and nobody likes that. Next is Duraludon. There's a couple things it does. It gets rocks. It can hit, I guess, kind of hard on the special side. Not really much on the physical side, though. I guess it does get, like, Iron Defense and Body Press, but, I mean, Body Press isn't even, like, a physical attack. I mean, it doesn't go off the attack stat, is what I mean. So, Duraludon's basically just a special attacker. Nidoking is scary, because it can run both physical and special with Sheer Force, and, like, Sheer Force, Life Orb, like, Earth Power, Sludge Wave, or whatever it is. Hits my team actually pretty hard. So like as you'll see, I have put in a couple measures in order to deal with said Nidoking, but that's just kind of hits pretty hard. Decidueye is weird. It gets Spirit Shackle, which can trap my stuff. Get Leaf Blade, Brave Bird, Sucker Punch, stuff like that. It gets Roost and Defog, so it can also be kind of bulky in that regard too. There's also a Spin Blocker, but I'm not running any spin, so it's not really a huge deal for me. But just gotta watch out for it. Blaziken is a thing. Speed Boost Blaziken is obviously banned, so it has to run Blaze. But even with Blaze, it's still pretty powerful. It still gets High Jump Kick. It still gets Brave Bird. It still gets like Bulk Up or Swords Dance or whatever. And so it can still be very threatening, especially with like Scarf, or with like Life Orb or stuff. It's like even without Speed Boost, it's still pretty good. Especially against stuff like Celesteela. Yay. Butterfree is a thing. I don't really know what it does, so I'm just gonna ignore it. Togekiss. I don't know. So, Togekiss became a bit better. It gets Nasty Plot. Well, I believe it got Nasty Plot last gen, but it can like really use it pretty effectively, because it gets Fire Blast, it gets Flamethrower, gets Aura Sphere, gets Dazzling Gleam, and of course the signature Serene Grace Air Slash combo with a 60% flinch chance that makes you want to cry. So very hard to deal with for me, because my main, like, wall, I guess, for it would most likely be Celesteela, and that gets destroyed by Fire Blast, especially after a Nasty Plot. Also, a cool gimmick thing it gets is it gets Ancient Power, so it is instead a 20% chance to get the Omni Boost rather than 10. Yay. Everyone loves Omni Boosts. Everyone loves Omni Boosts. Mimikyu is next. Disguise got nerfed this gen. When you break Disguise, it does 12% damage to Mimikyu. And even then, it's the fact that it has the Disguise is still good. It can still get like a free SD, or it can still just get like a free attack. Yes, Trick Room if it wants to do that. It's Will-O-Wisp too. You can also just get some good coverage moves like Woodhammer and Play Rough. And, well, Play Rough isn't a coverage move. Drain Punch, that's what I meant to say. So, it's still good. And if my Celesteela gets weakened, it could be definitely a big problem. Lycanroc Dusk is next. Gets Fire Fang and Thunder Fang. Does not get Ice Fang, I believe. Gets like Stone Edge and stuff. I can't run Lycanium Z, which is always a good thing for me. Because I have been destroyed by Lycanium Z in the past. But it gets like Brick Break and Drill Run too. So it's good. It gets some garbage moves. It gets the Cell Rock and stuff. I'm not too worried about it because I do have stuff like Rhyperior and Celesteela and Seismitoad. So I'm not even sure if they'll bring Lycanroc Dusk. And then finally is Tauros, which is weird. Again, another weird thing. Gets like Ice Beam and stuff. So, because it's a Gen 1 Pokemon. So they could run that if they wanted. But I don't expect that. I just really, if Tauros comes, I expect more of like a Body Slam or Rock Climber, or just, yeah, stuff like that. Maybe Earthquake, like Zen Headbutt, stuff like that. Not really a huge deal, I guess, because they do have like stuff like Tauros and Megalopony and Rhyperior and stuff. So I think the Tauros will be fine if it does come. So let's go through the team that I have made. First off, we have Haxorus, and as you can see, I decided to not do a typical Haxorus, which is like just like a wall breaker set, and instead do this sort of wall breaker set. See, it breaks walls by wearing them down with Toxic and Substitute and Protect, and I'm a horrible person. So Earthquake kind of hits my opponent pretty good. Doesn't hit Togekiss, but it hits like Gyarados super effectively. It's Nidoking super effectively. It's Blaziken super effectively. Hits like Narcos super effectively. So this is basically good, right? Toxic, it's basically everything. As you'll see, I have Toxic on like Sazatoad as well. So my plan is basically just to Toxic everything and then wear it down and then win somehow like that. Yeah, Haxorus is definitely going to be scary. For my opponent, probably because they're going to fear me running like first impression stuff on their Gyarados, so they might opt to not Mega Evolve Gyarados, which is kind of bad for me because I want them. I want them to Mega Evolve Gyarados. I have a much better. I deal with the Dark type Gyarados way better than the Flying type Gyarados. Even if it does get bulkier, I believe it gets bulkier. So here's just leftovers, stuff to protect Toxic. Running max HP, and I ran this speed, just so that I had speed. I believe it was the Togekiss, and I could just get substitutes up. It's like living the hits isn't really important, it's just getting the extra turns of Toxic that's important for me. And then I have just, Protect, then Toxic. Next is Rhyperior. And this is my way to deal with Togekiss. Not counting Nasty Plot, Dazzling Gleam does 30%, which means that I effectively wall it with Rest and Leftovers. And then I have Crunch, just as a good coverage move for stuff like Mew and Decidueye. I have Rock Blast, and then I just have Earthquake to hit everything else. Running 260 is enough with a Careful Nature, just, for that dazzle stuff. Then I just put the rest into defense. This was originally the weakest policy set, but I needed something for Togekiss, and this seemed like the only thing that could really handle it. So, yeah, I did that. Next is my Mega Lopunny, and it is Wee. So Power Up Punch Last Resort. Yes. Not counting Choice Scarf, it has beats every single thing on their team, which is very good. And if I can get the Power Up Punch up, I believe Last Resort does like 76% to Mew, and does even more, or just OHKOs the rest of my opponent's roster, which is great. So if Lopunny can hit the field and get the Power Up Punch up, we're in good shape. That's all I can say. I don't really need anything else. Just does everything. Because those ghost types, like Decidueye, Mimikyu, no, they getting destroyed. They getting absolutely destroyed because of Scrappy. And the Tauros and the Gyarados can't intimidate me because Scrappy got buffed. So Scrappy users can't be hit by Intimidate. They're immune to it. Which is good for things like my Lopunny and Surfetched. More you know. Next I have Celesteela. And I think I figured out the reason why I lost last time. It was because I wasn't running Leech Seed Protect. And of course, we need to fix that. And so I'm running Leech Seed Protect this time. Let's see if I ever don't run Leech Seed Protect ever again. I don't know, maybe. I have Giga Drain because if the Gyarados is sub, I need to break it. That's it. Giga Drain is, I believe, one of the only moves that actually breaks Mega Gyarados' sub from the Celesteela, so I can't just continue Dragon Dancing on me. I mean, it really can, but, like, I doesn't get the luxury of having the sub up, and then I can probably beat it with, like, Surf Up or something. I don't know. And then I just have Heavy Slam just because Heavy Slam. I'm running mainly physically defensive. To deal with stuff like the Gyarados, to deal with stuff like Mimikyu, like in Rock Dusk, Decidueye, stuff like that. That's basically it, though. I was thinking of running like Air Slash, but opted against it. Because if I remember correctly, it doesn't break the Gyarados' sub. Although I could be wrong about that. And then I just have leftovers. So here is Sassatoad. Decided to run Earthquake. Not Earth Power. Just kind of for whatever reason. And then I have Stuffed Rock, I have Toxic, and I have Protect. Because I am a horrible person. And then finally, I just have Sticky Webs, Slurpuff, with Calm Mind, and Psychic. So that's basically it. And why don't I get to replay now, because this has already gone for far too long. So, the bring Duraludon, Blaziken, Mew, Mega Gyarados, Lycan Rock Dusk, and Togekiss. Bit surprised to see the Lycan Rock Dusk, but whatever. Let's go into it. So, then we have with Mew, and I decided to lead off with Sassatoad, because basically just get my rocks up. But this is great for me, because because we just trade rocks, and this is good, because now, like, Togekiss gets hit by it, Gyarados gets hit by it, which is good. I just decided to Protect to see what move it goes for. It goes for Toxic, which signals that it is more of a, like, Spadef, well, not a Spadef, but like a support set, not, like, offensive. Maybe, like, a bit of a defensive set. But I have this Toxic, and this is really bad for me. Because the fact that it is this bulky set means that if I had had the Toxic, it would have been so much easier to just cripple this Mew and wear it down and stuff. So here comes the Duraludon, and I have Celesteela. Celesteela beats it pretty well, I guess. I can just kind of stall out with Leech Seed. But here is the Iron Defense, and so it just gets to set up even more Iron Defenses. But I can just continue to start wearing it down with Leech Seed, and then hopefully hit it with something in order to take it out. So here it's at max Iron Defense power, and you know, like I'm like, okay, that's fine. I take like 60% from body press. I took way more. Oh no. So this is max defense bold and a high roll. I just want to say that because of just how good Stila is. So here's Slurpa. And I just figured that the way I'm going to get around this is in order to just stall it out with Leech Seed. So I get out my webs, but it's faster than me because Duraludon is faster than me. So yeah. So here comes my Haxorus. And because I am the set that I am, I don't instantly lose to this thing, which is good because now I get to protect. And the next turn I get to sub. And like if my opponent is rest here, then I do lose. But they do not reveal the rest. So I'm fine. And now I can just finish them off with Earthquake. And this absolute horror of a Duraludon is gone. So I've effectively traded my Slurpuff for Duraludon and haven't even got webs up. This is going great. So Togekiss comes in because Rhyperior is a thing. It always wins. It always beats this Togekiss. They have Fire Blast. Most likely predicting Celesteela, but nah. Here is where I Rock Blast. Sadness. The crit sucks for my opponent, but the lack of more than 2 hits sucks more for me. Yeah, I just do it again, and yeah. They go for Crunch. The reason I stayed in is because I thought they would either go for Power Up, predicting Sasquatch, in which case, whatever, I can just go into Lopunny and win. Or go for Dragon Dance, in which case, this is a great play. So they went for Crunch, which is just as good, honestly. But yeah, Blaziken is a thing. And so I have to click Protect here, just sort of stall it out. And here, Sasquatch is just bad, so I decided to sack it off. But that happened. Remember earlier when I mentioned that Ancient Power was like a thing that could happen? Yeah, sadness. I don't like that. But for whatever reason, they switch out, and so I get to hit it more times. So me takes a bit of damage. I was being kind of salty there, honestly, like during the match, but I'm sorry. To my opponent for that. To the Middletown Meltans. So that was the name of the team I was facing. So just I'm sorry for being so salty about that, but I just felt like I was just not getting lucky. And just completely ignoring the times where I did. But yeah, so I predict the Mew to switch out in the Blaziken, so it's fine. I can just kind of get damage on this thing. I coulda, woulda gone Haxorus here, because I felt like the Flare was pretty obvious, but no. So we already decided to protect because I actually do live a Flare Blitz, and so I would be completely fine trading the Celesteela for it, the Blaziken, but they decided to switch it out, get some damage on me with like and rock and stuff, and now I am what I am better because I have a defense boost. So here comes the Togekiss, and it's gonna Fire Blast. So I just go right back into Rhyperior, straight on the Fire Blast. And I was going to Crunch, predicting them to give it a Mew, but no, and no. The fact that they don't live the Stealth Rocks, is the thing. And so, in hindsight, I think they were probably Starved Togekiss. That's for what that means. It doesn't really mean anything, but yeah. So there's a High Jump Kick. I just said, whatever, Rhyperior isn't needed anymore. I can use Celesteela to wall Mew. And I just have to get a bit more damage on the Blaziken, and oh, it just died. Okay. So, now I win. Because I could just click Toxic on this Mew and just kind of stall it out with Celesteela. I don't know if the kill is going to go to Haxorus or Celesteela, but either way, I'm fine with it. Celesteela can just kind of come in. And since they have revealed all 4 moves on their Mew, being Stealth Rock, Toxic, Psychic, and Roost, they cannot win. Long story short, they can't win. So I'm just going to speed this part up. And then that's basically the match. So, I won this one, which is good because it bounced back, I guess, from the last match, which was a loss. And hopefully, you keep winning. Yeah. Lopunny never hit the field, which, in my opinion, was kind of sad because I really would have liked it to. I was also debating whether to do Fake Out Last Resort or Power Up Punch Last Resort, but I decided to do Power Up Punch because with the +1 Last Resort did just so much more. Yeah, Haxorus got its debut, and I think it did pretty well. If I bring Haxorus again, it probably won't be this horrible set. It will instead be probably more of a traditional set. But who knows? I might bring the set again. And Callisto Rizatu might also get to show themselves. I don't really have anything else to say, like last time. And this is going on for far too long already, so I think I should just say bye. And I will see you all in the next video, most likely. Shoot, where is my, there we go. Yeah, then, probably week 8, I don't know, maybe something else, but bye.